Hello, all. I'm glad to join you on this beautiful Sunday. As you can see, we're outside. There's no, I don't want to bore you guys with white walls anymore. Thought I'd freshen it up. And as it's Sunday, there's no better way to start than with a prayer. So if you don't mind, Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this day, for this Sunday. Thank you for those that were able to attend service. We thank you that it was a blessed service and that what was taught, what was preached will stay with us for the rest of the week and honestly for the rest of our lives, and that it will edify us. We thank you for that, Lord. We thank you that we're here today, that though we may be dealing with our own struggles, our own issues, there's so many to choose from, that you are dealing with them for us. And that even though we may have these issues, that we still have so much to be thankful for, so much to be grateful for. Chief among them, salvation. Today, my pastor was preaching about the gifts of the gospel. And I want to thank you for that message. And I hope that you will help teach others about the gifts of the gospel, Lord. And lastly, I just want to ask you, Lord, to please bless everyone that's watching this video. Let it be entertaining for them. Let it be enjoying. And just bless their weeks. Bless their upcoming weeks. That it will be a great week for them. That prayers will be answered. That burdens will be lifted. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen. Now, today, this weekend, I've been waiting for this weekend for months, since the end of the Europa League final, of course. It's been a great weekend. First, obviously, I have to start with Manchester United. I mean, what a game. What a game. I just love Amorim. I put my faith in Amorim, and I put my faith in multiple United managers. So I guess I can't really say this, in that kind of way. Also, we haven't really done anything. But Amorim, I have my full faith in you. You turned around a club before in your first full year. And by the looks of that performance, that's what you will be doing at Manchester United. And I thank you for that. I love you, Amorim. Now, to get on to the performance. We dominated Arsenal by every measure. Every measure, we dominated Arsenal. The only statistical category they had more was, corners. And yeah, that's how they scored. Obviously, they scored a corner. It was the dark arts that Arsenal is so used to. They had Saliba basically back into our keeper, essentially pushing him into the net. When he tries to make contact with the ball, he just barely touches it. And the result was ultimately a Calafiori goal. But before that, Arsenal that was like 15 minutes into the game. Before that, Arsenal hadn't done anything. We were dominating, and throughout the game, we dominated the ball. The ball was in their half for the vast majority of the game. Cunha can play striker, as we saw today, but Cunha's not a striker. So I want to commend him for that performance. That was a great performance. The way he carried we knew about his ball carrying. That's what we were excited for. But the way he carried the ball relentlessly, time after time after time, through to the other side. He should have left with a goal today. He'll be sad to not leave with one after that performance. Just the way he carried it past, he must have beaten like 6 Arsenal defenders from our half into the other half. And then he was, the last defender was about to get it to him. So he was rushing the shot, and he shot it kind of, wasn't the most clinical, and it wasn't a great shot. But he had a really great game today. I would also say Luke Shaw. I can't lie, I didn't really want to see Luke Shaw in the starting lineup. I thought Aiden Heaven played really well in his debut against Arsenal last year. Obviously, he knows all the players very well. And he's tall, he just fills me with more confidence, I guess, based off what I've seen from Shaw lately, particularly at the left center back position. But today, Shaw was really, really good. The way he moved, he was running again. He's fit. It's a World Cup year. Of course he's fit. But he's fit. And he had a good performance today, I can't lie. De Ligt was also great. I think that spot is his. That central center back is his. The physical dominance that I had seen from Maguire, which made me prefer Maguire over him, as well as his aerial ability, the way he wins almost every single aerial duel. I had him in front of De Ligt, but now I have De Ligt in front of him. And I think our center back, Euro, he wasn't amazing today. This was an average performance by his standards. He was still really good, but I want to see more from him. And then, honestly, we kept the ball in their half. We pressed them high and relentlessly, and they were shocked. We forced them to go long. This is a team that has dominated. They haven't dominated because they've been second, but they, as Arteta says, on the last 3 years, they won the Premier League on points. If you aggregate the 3 years, this is a team that has done very well for themselves in the Premier League. So after that performance, and then Šeško, he came in the second half. Oh, and I wanted Ahmad to start too, but Dallo did a decent enough job. I think Ahmad was not fully, into the game. I think coming off the bench hindered him a little bit, but he still beat men. He still, he had a good game. He had a good game. I was glad to see what I saw from him. And then Casemiro, I was singing Baleba, come, and I still want Baleba, of course. But Casemiro, that was beautiful. He was even running back. There were counterattacks. He was running back. He was getting there, putting in challenges. There was one, they had a counterattack. He goes back, puts in a challenge, wins the ball, and then sends Mbumo on the counterattack, where he almost scored, I think. But I think that's when it might have been Gabriel. It was either Gabriel or Saliba had like a last-second block. All in all, and Arsenal, there wasn't really anything to talk about from them. Saka didn't really do anything. Gyökeres, one of my friends, Uno, shout out Uno, he texted me, Gyökeres is pretty awful. I was like, yeah, he hasn't done anything. He was like, yeah, except lose the ball. He kept losing the ball. De Ligt was clamping him, but I don't know. Šeško, though, I can't lie. Šeško didn't do too much, but one thing I am glad about, I saw a deep ball, pause, no Diddy. I saw a deep ball from Euro. I got to start pronouncing his name right, I speak a little bit of French, so Euro. And he sent it into Šeško. And I'm so used to Højlund always trying to fight, battle the center backs, and then he loses track of the ball. But today Šeško controlled it beautifully and then laid it off. And then it was to Ugarte, and I was like, oh, Ugarte, look around, look up. He shoots it. It's okay. Ugarte, it's okay. It's okay. But that's my piece on United. I think this shows, this season we're going to be hard to beat. I want to say we're going to win the league, but I don't want to be a delusional United fan, as I tend to be every year. But all I'm going to say is we're going to be very, very difficult to beat. People got to understand, we're going to do what we just did against Arsenal, but not every team is going to be Arsenal. And then on top of that, 1 game a week. While you guys are playing Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, there are 9 Premier League teams in Europe this year. We're not in any of that. Just going to be chilling, watching you guys' games, taking notes on how to prepare. Then when you face us on Saturday or Sunday, maybe even a Friday, we'll be ready to run. You guys will be a little bit fatigued, maybe have to throw in some subs. Our best lineup's coming out, so be scared. That's your warning, guys. Now, as for the other games, let me start with, what game should I say? Liverpool. The Liverpool game. That was a great game to watch, honestly. It was a great start to the Premier League. I don't really know what to say. It was a great start. Sorry, I'm just trying to pull up my notes real quick. Yeah, so Gravenberg, I don't know what happened to Gravenberg. Why didn't he? I'm going to assume he's injured. That's the only explanation. But so, yeah, there was no Gravenberg. I saw from the beginning that the teams clearly were still in first gear. You know, they're not ready yet for the Premier League season. That was hardly a Premier League match, I think. There was sloppy passing. Wirtz had an awful game. That's his welcome to the Premier League game. Sorry, Florian Wirtz. That's your welcome to the Premier League game. If you watch my Premier League predictions video, I'm not going to spoil it, but he won something. And I think it's good that he got this out of the way early. I think he's a world-class player, so he's gonna come back. He's gonna play better. I mean, we know he's better than Ekitike, and Ekitike, we're gonna get to him. So won't be too worried about Wirtz, but man, he looked awful. The passing, awful. The touch, awful. He was just getting knocked off the ball. It just wasn't good. But Szoboszlai was playing 6 in the build-up, it seemed like, whereas Maka was playing 6 more in defense. And they definitely missed Gravenberg, I will say. Szoboszlai, McAllister, and Wirtz are too attacking-minded. So going back, they tended to be out of position a lot of times, particularly in the second half. But in build-up, the center backs were splitting in defense with Szoboszlai a little bit higher in front of them. And then, yeah, he did a really good job, honestly. He filled that Gravenberg role in possession really well. Gakpo's goal, class. Absolute class. Just the way Gakpo looks really good off the left. And he's underrated. They don't talk about him enough. The way he gets in, he cuts in, he fakes the shot again, and then slots it perfect bottom corner. It's a great finish. Honestly, Jose Sa, pretty awful. You would expect a better save. Or no, it wasn't even Jose Sa. What am I talking about? They were playing Bournemouth. That was a class finish. So, but yeah, Bournemouth had a great chance in the first half where I forgot who. They weren't really expecting it to go. He wasn't really expecting it to go to him, and then he kind of hit it into the ground. They would have been upset with that. Would have wanted to do a little bit better. Then also Ekitike's goal. There was a little bit of luck, given he bounced off the defender, but you know, he won the goal. It was a good goal. Ekitike had a good debut. I think he also got an assist. So respect to Ekitike. He's not going to be a 007. And when I was watching that, I was like, why didn't we sign Ekitike? But nah. Šeško, I believe in you. So, yeah. And then there was a nice counterattack for the goal for Semenyo. He was... and we got to talk about the racism that he encountered. He was going to get a ball, I think, for a corner kick, and then there was a man on the wheelchair on the sidelines who apparently hurled racial insults at him. But no, he went on, he kept playing, and then he told the official what happened. The guy got sent off. And I'm glad that, you know, the Premier League is taking initiative. We need to see this in La Liga more, which I think they're starting to do more of. But it's good that we're letting it be known that we will not tolerate this kind of behavior. And Semenyo was a top-class act. He just went back to playing, turned the other shoulder as Jesus would do, turn the other cheek rather, as Jesus would do, tells the ref, gets sent off, then scores 2 goals. First goal, beautiful, off the counter. He runs, gets played behind Konate, as, you know, Bournemouth, the player was pretty high and wide. I think that's what, and I would say the game definitely changed after Liverpool made their subs. Liverpool was kind of dominating, and then they made their subs. They subbed off both of the fullbacks. It was not a great performance for Kirkes, honestly. But Semenyo played him every day in training. He's going to know him well. And it was definitely, I mean, we could see who was winning in training. But I think Kirkes, you know, he's already played in the league. He's going to bounce back. But it was bad from him. Frimpong wasn't bad, honestly. I'm not sure why he was taken off. But as soon as he was, they put an endo for him. And then, what's his name? Robertson for Kirkes. On that counter-attacking goal, Bournemouth, it was clear, knowing Kirkes and Frimpong, even though they weren't in, I don't think, at this time, we know that they like to bomb on. They like to push forward. So Bournemouth, it seemed like they knew this. They set up their wingers high and wide, ready to expose that on the counter. When Frimpong and Kirkes were taken off, oh my gosh, the first goal. First of all, Konate also had a stinker, absolute stinker. But they play it in behind Konate. And then Semenyo just goes, and then great run by him. He makes a run behind Robertson. Robertson was also, he's done. He's done. That goal just showed it. He gets beaten. He has no chance of ever catching him. He goes right in behind him. What a run. Gets it, scores. Then, I will say, then Konate got injured. He went down. It was a major scare given their center back situation. I know Leone looks like he's going to be world class. Apparently, he's one of the best in the Serie A already at 17. So he's going to be amazing. And then I guess, anyways, they just kept trying runs in behind from midfield, and there was so much space. Endo just cannot. Slot should never try to put Endo at inverted right back again. He's too slow. The positioning was not there. I don't know. I couldn't tell if it was him or Konate, but the gap between them was massive. They were getting ran through, literally, every time. So Konate, I don't know. Teams should be watching out for that, but I think it was mainly an Endo issue. Slot noticed this after Semenyo's second goal, which was also class again. Just dribbles it through. No one steps in. Van Dijk, if you saw my last video, my Premier League predictions, he kind of does the aura defending where he wants to step in at the last second. To be fair to him, he had to track a run, so it was more on Konate. Konate really should have blocked it, but honestly, neither of them stepped up. So there you have it. And then what else? Yeah, Bournemouth definitely grew into the second half after Liverpool's subs. He ends up taking off Ekitike for Gomez, but it's to get Endo into midfield because he noticed he was a liability. Salah was so good, just in every aspect. His touch was so good. How he was able to beat a man, his passes. He tried the Trivela a little bit too much. And Liverpool fans, I get you. I watch Bruno all the time. He tried the Trivela a little bit too much, but Salah is really world class. It's a shame that they got knocked out of the Champions League because he should be top 2 in Ballon d'Or, and I'm not sure that he will, but he was world class. And then he gets his goal at the end. It was beautiful. Chiesa also got a goal. Look at Chiesa, man. Hopefully he stays, and hopefully he's able to make himself, he's able to start playing consistently. It was a great finish from him, to be honest. Great finish. The way that he hit it, but then he got it so that it would curve outwards, bottom corner, perfect finish. It was a great first game. Great first game, honestly. And I think if you watch my video, I don't have Liverpool winning the league. And I think this shows there are a lot of defensive frailties. But I must say, obviously, that, it's the first game of the season. They're going to be stronger. Gravenberch is going to be back. And yeah. Now, what else? Oh, I watched City. I watched the City game. That was also a great game. City played amazing. I wouldn't say amazing. They played well. But they clearly were not. They're still in first gear. And they won 4-0. Tijani Reinders, I wasn't expecting him to play at 10. That was not expected at all. But it worked. I guess, Wolves were not a team that they were coming and having that much respect for, I think. So he was able to tweak it a little bit. But it was, Tijani Reinders, the little dink over to Rico Lewis that he sent in, perfect ball from Rico Lewis as well, to Haaland, and then tap in, easy. His positioning is great, though. That's a striker's goal. But none of it happens without the little dink from Reinders, who was honestly just sublime. And then, what was the next one? I think he scored the one off his... No, Haaland got another one. I think... I forgot who assisted this one. But it was a great finish from Haaland. This one was not a tap in. It was from a little bit further out. Good finish from him. He looks like he's, I mean, I predicted top Premier League goal scorer. He looks like that's going to come true. And yeah, it was a great performance. And then also he had the other assist, Reinders. When he was on the breakaway, I thought, he was going to do something. Nobody was really there. No one was ahead of him. No one was on the other side. So I was like, I don't know how this is going to work. But he saw the run coming from behind, sets it back, and then boom. Oh, that was Haaland's second goal. Yeah, that was class. And then Cherki, Ryan Cherki. So good. He just comes in. He just plays like he's in the park. Little flicks without looking, which leads into the goal. He was in probably maybe 3 minutes before he scores, and it's inevitable. He knows he's too good, and it was like Manu, the way he barely celebrates. He just, yeah, I'm him. And I think he's going to be the young, watch the Premier League. Watch the Premier League predictions video. But he was sublime. I think it's because of his off-ball work that he's not, given preference to start. And then he was put false 9 also, because further up you are, the less your defensive inadequacies are going to show. But he showed his quality, and he's going to give Pep a hard time, as all the City players do. But as for Wolves, it was just a very poor performance. That's all I have to say. I mean, Jose Sa, as a goalkeeper, he's just awful. Just awful. Honestly, just awful. They didn't really give City any difficulty. There's not much else to say. Other than that, I catched bits and pieces of the other games. I saw a little bit of Brighton Fulham. Saw Baleba. But apparently he's keen. Hopefully he is keen. We want you, Baleba! I'm a believer. Anyways, he was good. He changed his number to 17. Brighton, they played pretty well. I mean, it was a draw. Fulham, they showed why they're hard to beat again. And then Chelsea drew today. I caught a little bit of that game, not enough. But like I said, I told you guys, Glasner, great manager. If you watch the Premier League predictions video, great manager. I saw Eze had scored, but then it got ruled off, which is unfortunate. So obviously I'm not rooting for Chelsea. And yeah, Nottingham Forest, I'm surprised they were able to beat Brentford 3-1. But actually, no, I'm not. Brentford's not going to be good at all this year. But let's see what other matches happened. Tottenham beat Burnley pretty convincingly 3-0. I mean, it's Burnley, but I think it was a good performance from Tottenham. Frank showed, he's not married to the 3 at the back, or 5 at the back rather. He could play a 4, and he just shows his class as a manager. He's going to set the team up depending on the opponent. And a lot of times they're going to win. Solanke's still not playing. I'm not sure what's up with Kulusevski, but I didn't see him. And then they're still supposed to bring in Savinho and Eze. So Tottenham's going to be a force this year. Burnley, I mean, there's not much to say. West Ham lost 3-0 to Sunderland. I didn't watch any of that game, I can't lie, but it's not. I mean, it is shocking because they're both kind of seen as there should be, neck and neck. Graham Potter, I don't know how much time he has. He needs to go back to being a pundit, even though as a pundit, he was so boring. He talks so slowly, but go back to being a pundit. How are you losing 3-0 the first game of the season to a newly promoted side? That's just embarrassing. And then Villa Newcastle, 0-0 draw. Newcastle's going to be very good. Once they get Vissa in, once they get another striker, I don't know why Gordon's up top, because Elanga has played striker before. They should have put Elanga there. As soon as Gordon was put on the left, he just glides by everyone, and then It was not a great effort, but it just shows he needs to be on the wing. He's a winger. Alanga, if you must, if until Vissa or whoever gets put in, can play at striker. But that team is going to be dangerous. The midfield, I mean, what I don't understand, though, is how have United managers been so inept? Because I look at other teams. Bruno Guimaraes, there's no way he's significantly faster than Casemiro, who we've been saying leave the football before it leaves you. How come other managers are able to set up? I mean, I guess, yeah, he has Joe Wellington and the Italian guy, what's his name? Tonali, that have the energy to get back. So, but I'm just amazed at how they're able to set up with Guimaraes, who's not able to really get back in transition that fast and still not concede so many goals. But yeah, once they get their striker, they're going to be, I mean, Alanga on one side, Gordon on the other side, arguably the best Premier League midfield. And then their back line is just huge and solid. So yeah, all in all, Premier League football is back. So that's all I can say. It's a great weekend. Yeah. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe to my Substack. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube. Give me feedback, guys. I need to get better for you guys. I want to grow a bigger community. So please give me your feedback. I know I've been making a lot of videos on footy, given the fact that the season just started, but I will make a basketball video. I will make that LeBron video. Why? I hate LeBron. I hate just for the purposes of the video. Obviously, I would treat my neighbor as myself, obviously. But yeah, just let me know what you guys thought. Make sure to like, subscribe, share the good news, share the word. And yeah, it's a pleasure. So have a great week, guys.